All right, so we're here on this podcast.
The inaugural podcast.
The inaugural.
Sunday morning, August 25th.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm here with Brian.
Nero. Negron.
No, Nick Celio. And we're just here to talk shit, I guess, right? Talk about what we want to fucking talk about. Basically, we were talking in my kitchen before, and we were having a good time, and we were like, fuck, let's record it. See if other people want to listen to what the fuck we talk about.
Right, and we have different topics of discussion, anything free forum, I guess.
Yeah.
So what we were talking about before was skydiving, and then we were thinking, can you actually travel in the astral world? Is this a real thing? Like, can you actually astral project? If you can fly in the real world to a certain extent, can you fly in the spiritual world?
Right.
So we want to take your thoughts on it, Nick. What do you think?
Well, this is crazy because when I was younger, I always had this feeling like I've had dreams before where you could fly, and it feels so fucking real, you know? So I would tell people, I'm like, I guarantee you that we can fly, right? I just felt it inside. But as I got older, I learned about astral projection and stuff, and I was like, maybe that's what I'm talking about. Maybe physically a human being can't fly, but we can come outside of our bodies and do whatever we want to. And I believe that's true. I know people that can do that on a regular basis. I've done it a little bit.
So maybe we go into a little more detail, like what we think astral projection is for people that don't necessarily know. For me, I think it's like a spiritual transformation where you actually have an out-of-body experience, where you transfer your energy into another dimension. I know that's personally what I think. So what are your thoughts on it?
No, yeah, I mean, I think you could stay in this dimension, at the physical dimension as a spirit, but also through like friends that I know who have done it before, they can go into other dimensions, you know? I know a person that said the further he gets from Earth with his spirit, the more positive energy he could feel. It feels like there's a negative energy around planet Earth or whatever, and then every single, like, I guess, step or dimension he gets away, it becomes more positive.
And I feel like, that like when we say dimension too, like again, not to take it out of context, but just like feel like people think you actually go to like this freaking weird thing where you see like cubism or something like that. When it's necessarily like that, it's like you said, it's a higher level maybe of consciousness.
Right.
Like you said, like with the energy, because they say like in I guess this is what the third one or something like that. There is a lot of negative energy, so as you go up to the higher frequencies with your body and stuff, I think that's where we get into what your friend says he can achieve.
Right.
Like, and then it's like a certain level of I think meditation,
right? Like Zen,
right. And like being really comfortable with yourself to get to there. They say like I think it was some Akashans or something like that. They came up with these higher different realms, and they say that even like our spirit and beings can become bigger. Like they say like I wish I can explain it better, but they say like in the higher dimensions you can actually your body is not as small. Like you can receive like a bigger height because you're closer to these dimensions, so you're a different being and with yourself. That's what the Egyptians, they said that's how they built the pyramids so high, and we eventually shrunk because our consciousness level shrunk as the dynasties started to die out.
Okay.
So they say that there's a possibility with these techniques that that's how we were able to be so large and create these massive structures with relative ease with techniques that nobody's ever seen since.
Right.
So it's definitely one of these things, like I said, through extensive training, like, is it really something that you can achieve? Or is it something that you've made yourself believe? What do you think?
I mean, the pyramid thing is pretty cool. I mean, so it's basically you're saying, like, because our consciousness has shrunk, that we can't understand how these people did this.
Right. That's the basic, like, premise is that we think with the male part of our mind now, and then we used to think with like a female consciousness, and it was way more open and receptive to like thoughts and ideas.
Like, so the female is more creative?
More of a creative style, where our male dominant brain is like more geared to war and
which is ridiculous. Right. Which is ridiculous that we're on this planet because people don't take a step back and realize what's going on, and it's hard because we have emotions, and I get angry sometimes. But like to think that we have to go to war with people on a planet that's floating in the middle of outer space, and we're destroying each other. Like, that's crazy that we even have that ability or desire to do so to each other. Like.
Well, that's what they're saying with the lower level of consciousness. That's our basic primal instinct is just like we're tribalistic as human beings too. All right, this is my peoples, and we're gonna take over the world because like we need the resources and stuff like that. Instead of thinking like with the female side of our brain and the larger consciousness, where if we work together with all these people, we could be way more prosperous instead of just destructive.
Right.
With the the single-minded focus, and with the opposite side, it would be like I said, they're more creative, more into like education and things of that stuff. And a lot of people argue that too. Without the wars, we would probably be way further along in our own civilization than now. Even with our thoughts now, we worked more together and we concentrated more on saving our resources and things of that nature. We would be way further along with like education and stuff. And people wouldn't have to work. It would be more of like utopian society, more geared toward the arts and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But again, with that, it's good and evil. Like, you know what I mean? If you have too much good, eventually an evil is going to come up. It's just how it is. There has to be some kind of balance. I think that's what this all ultimately boils down to.
But does there have to be, though? Does there have to be that?
I feel like it's like almost superhero-y. There has to be some kind of balance in the world. Like, you can't have the good without the evil. That's like with the Taoists, believe the Buddhists, you have the yin and the yang. Like, in your own thing, even your own thoughts with the yin and the yang, it's like you can't, it's impossible. You can't have the one without the other. You can't truly be one thing.
But how do we know that evil is actually the opposite of good? Or did somebody just say it is? Maybe the opposite of good is something we don't even know about and isn't destructive. You know what I mean? Like, why does it have to be fucking so extreme?
It's your viewpoint on it. Because, alright, so if you take the perspective of a plant, you can't have new growth without death of the old plant. You can't. It just can't happen. If, like, branches and leaves don't come off from the lower limbs and extremity, it can't grow tall. So maybe, like you said, it might be the extreme where you call it good or evil because that's how we label it. Mm-hmm. But it really is just the balance. You have to have one with the other. Like it can't just, like I said, it can't just totally be one thing.
Right.
Like if you eat too much ice cream every day for breakfast, you would hate it. You're like, I can't just have ice cream. Right. It sucks. It's too good. Or like, you know what I mean? Your tongue will become sour to it, like because you had too much. So I feel like that's where the balance too with that comes into. But I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, you do know. You do know.
I do know. And that's part of the thing what we were talking about before. Like, fill you guys in with a little bit of that story. We're perceiving like life. You know exactly what you want. It's you don't know how to express it. So that's part of our crazy podcast. And we started today.
I read a book one time. I don't know if it was Tony Robbins. It was something. I think it's called "Release the Giant Within" or something like that. It was one of those books. I have the book, but he said, change the way you speak and you'll change your life. That's why I say, like, when you say I don't know, he says that I think it's in his book. He says, like, if you say I don't know, then you don't know. You know what I mean? But you know. So it's like he's like, cut out certain things you say just because they make you feel more comfortable. Like, you know how you say a sentence and then maybe you're not 100% sure that the other person feels the same. It's like, oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? If you cut that out, then what you say is what you know. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we know what we're talking about, right? Otherwise you wouldn't say it, right? Or just any words. Like, if here's a good example. Say you're nervous for something. Like, say you're going out on a first date or something, right? And you're like, oh, I'm really nervous about it. That's your first instinct, right? He says to change it to, I'm excited about it. And then all of a sudden, you feel like a different person. The words you say actually do make you feel differently, you know?
Yeah.
And I know that we're straying away from what we were just talking to, but...
No, it's absolutely true. Like, I saw another one, it was a Will Smith thing, because I did the skydiving thing recently, and he was saying that it was basically the built-up part, the anticipation, the fear, the anxiety that we get. If you change those same words, like you said, if you change it to the excitement, or you change it like, yo, this is going to be a really fun experience, and you keep reinforcing that, like, your outlook is going to change. Then in the minute that you do go with the negative one, then it's going to be negative.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But easier said than done. Okay, because the fear still comes. We're still all human beings.
Sure.
Right? Because, like, the whole time I was saying, oh, it's going to be great. I'm not going to die. You know, this is crazy. Yeah. People die in car accidents more than they die in planes, stuff like that. But, like I said, the door opens, I'm the most terrified I've ever been. Dude, you know what I mean? The anxiety's still there. All that shit that I was telling you becomes kind of bullshit, and shut up or, you know what I mean? Put up or shut up time. So it's like...
But you did it anyway.
Did it anyway, because I did say I was going to do it, I was going to have a great time, and I did have a great time. But, like I said, it's... what you're saying is great. It's how do we put it into practice?
Right.
That seems to be the most difficult that myself has, and I know a lot of other people have. Like I can get up every day and I'd be amped for that shit, and somebody put the wrong idea in my head, and I'm almost instantly shut down. So yeah, all these things sound great.
Yeah.
It's how do we continue to practice it?
Yeah.
And again, I guess goes with the overall theme of it is the consciousness. And
right.
It's like we are what we say we are, and we see the world how we see it, and it happens to us exclusively. Like, and that premise trips me out. You know what I mean? Because even though me and you are having this conversation, it is still how I perceive the world, and it's still how you perceive the world, which is how we having the same experience at the same time, but not. Like,
right.
It's just mind blowing, and sometimes it's extremely intimidating when you start to go down that path. So it's like, how do you not ultimately succumb to the fear?
Well, the fear's gonna be there, right? But you have to get through it. You know, like you gotta force yourself to get through it somehow.
Yeah, I know. You gotta. Yeah.
You have to, because otherwise you're not gonna be able to grow. Right? If you gave into the fear all the time, you'd be in your house just fucking sitting there drinking a beer and never doing anything. You know?
Yeah, it'd be the same old routine, but it's like, okay, there's comfort in the routine.
Oh, there's comfort,
there's comfort in
and
the
our
routine.
brains want us to be.
Right.
They say you're here to survive, basically, right? Mm-hmm. You have like a primal part of your brain, and you have other parts of your brain. Your primal part of your brain is the most powerful. It has your fucking instincts. It has your survival, like fight or flight kind of thing. You know what I mean? And you are here to survive, to fucking reproduce and keep the fucking mankind going.
That's what I mean. It's like, how do you shut off that part where you're like, dude, I know I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But you gotta try to shut off your lesser instinct of the fear. Right. Like I said, oh, dude, I can do this, but thousands of years of DNA have told you otherwise.
But
that's how you operate.
You have to do it consistently, like you're doing now, right? You went skydiving, you went out last night, right? Because you're telling yourself, that's it, fuck it, I'm going for it. Because one setback could easily bring you back to your old ways, but also, if you do get set back with one thing, you have to say to yourself, that one setback's not going to set me fucking back. You know what I mean? We're all human beings. We can make fucking mistakes. Maybe you don't take the opportunity, you don't take the chance that was right in front of you because you may have been scared. But that's what happens. Like, say you're on a diet or something like that, and people cheat one day, and then that's it. They fall down the slope, right? They think they think that they failed completely, but you didn't fail completely. You're allowed to fuck up and then go like this. I'm gonna take the step back up, right where I was, and continue to climb ahead. You know, it's okay.
Right. I mean, that is ultimately, like you said, a lot of people take it up as an ultimate, like, they totaled it when it's just a speed bump.
Right.
Instead of taking it just as you said, just like, I can get through this one step at a time. It's good to have a plan, but it's okay that everything doesn't go to plan. You know? And I feel a lot of people get caught up with that. Yeah. Myself is, so it's just...
it's alright to fuck up, people.
It's alright to fuck
people
up.
Out there.
Our imaginary audience of Pastina.
Yeah.
One day you'll meet her.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's important to, like you said, like continue to stay within your own comfort zone, but push the boundaries at the same time. Like you have to remain, like you don't want to do anything that's gonna totally make you feel violating your like current self or whatever. But you can't. You gotta constantly change. Yeah. Like change is important to the overall thing, and but that's why we kind of got into the astral projection and the meditation is, can you really achieve that? And like, ultimately, are you like, I don't know where I'm going with this. Ultimately, like, are you truly in charge of your own destiny, or does it play out? Like, you know what I mean? Like a Taoism thing is just let things go as they go, and the more that you fight it, you realize the more it's not supposed to go. Like, if you're like working on a door handle and it's giving you resistance and it shouldn't, it's a simple task, it means you should just let it go. Right. But how do you fight that one? You know what I mean? Yeah. Again, I think it kind of goes with the fear thing, where I'm saying, like, How do you fight your better instincts and continue to fight them?
Right. I think there's sometimes like for instance, like the doorknob thing. I have had times where it's like the first time it doesn't work, second time it doesn't work, and then you're like the third time if it doesn't work, what am I supposed to do? Not do this? No, you fucking certain things you're like I'm powering through this, I'm fixing this fucking thing, right?
Yeah,
but there are times where you feel like I shouldn't do this, but you do it, and then you're like, fuck, like that was. Or just as simple as like, oh, you left your keys in the house, say, right? But something's telling you like, oh, go back in because go get a glass of water or something like that, right? And would that have triggered like, oh, where the fuck are my keys? But you didn't get the water. And now you're outside without your fucking keys in your hand, you know? It's like little inclinations or whatever, like, whatever the word is, that are telling you like, go do this because you got to also do this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's just like kind of being more like mindful, I guess, of
right.
the flow of things. Like it's what I think ultimately what they like the world wants you to believe. Like, you know what I mean? As you said, like you're destined to meet certain people every day. You're put in different situations, and if you're looking for something, like you'll find it if you're listening. Like if you're properly in tune, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like, but easier said than done. All these things definitely easier said than done. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of being comfortable with yourself, and then realizing what you can do to like affect the others around you, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, Destiny, like, I mean, if people want to know what I think about Destiny, like, I don't know, maybe I have a really far out idea of what's going on here, but I don't know if this, I mean, I don't know if I 100% believe this is true, but, you know, I have feelings sometimes like, dude, you got to do this, you got to do this. And so, it's almost as if somebody's whispering in your ear, right? And it could be somebody else, or I feel like there's something greater out there that I'm reaching for, or that I know deep down inside, but something's blocking it, like like a governor on an engine. Okay. It's like you can't go past this point because we're here in our human forms, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like that maybe that we sent ourselves to here, right? Somebody made this happen, in my opinion, right? We just didn't, a stroke of good luck made human beings like over billions of years. Yeah, it could be aliens, it could be anything. I always say, like, I don't know that I believe this or whatever, but like, what happens if we are up there in another universe, another dimension right now? We can't be part of that, but we sent ourselves here, right?
Some kind of weird hell.
Like, not even hell, like, what if it's just a game at the end of the day? Like, what if me and you were up there and we're with everybody we know and we're like, I could go down there on planet Earth in 90 years and accomplish this, right? Say I want to be a musician or I want to write, I want to do this. I can accomplish that on that planet, that fucked up planet, say. Right. Because we're eternal, we're infinite. And we're like, we need to do things like this, right?
Some kind of challenge.
And we're like this, and you're only allowed to give like 10 hints throughout his whole life to push him towards it. And shit, maybe he might even find out about what's going on. Who knows? Maybe this is right. Maybe my spirit gave me this. You know what I mean?
If it's not, this makes one hell of a movie.
Because, yeah, right, it does make a hell of a movie.
One hell of a movie. I'd watch it.
Did you ever see Interstellar?
No, I never seen that. But
it's a space movie with Matthew McConaughey, and in the beginning, I felt like something was off. I was like, is he telling himself to do certain things in the movie? And it ended up being like that in a way, because he gets caught in another dimension and he could time travel and shit like that. But like, who knows if that's true?
I don't think I've ever even thought to even perceive it like that.
Yeah.
Like we were in some kind of ultimate game because of like some kind of eternal boredom.
Right.
Or challenge, like you said.
That we might be doing to ourselves.
Right. Like, it's sadistic, but it makes sense in its own weird thing. Like, oh yeah, I can go down there. And like I said, I can do it in 74 years.
Right.
No, you can't.
I can name that tune.
Right. No, you can't. I'll be out in 26.
Yeah.
Fuck you again, bro.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because like, think about all these famous people that always die at the 27 Club.
Right,
Maybe that's like, you know what I mean? That's the ultimate goal of these spirits. I'm the 27 Club.
Oh, shit.
I can achieve fame in 27 years, and I'm out.
And they all said that to each other. Me too, motherfucker.
Gotti. I can do it too. But yeah, no, that's definitely tripped out concept. Like, you know, or you're supposed to learn You know, that's a lot of things too. Like you're supposed to learn some kind of lesson, and you're here stuck cosmically, like until you can reconnect to that eternal form.
Yeah.
Kind of going with that, like you know, that could be totally possible. To you're totally one with the spirit.
Right.
Like they, the one thing I heard on the Stupid Logic album, which really kind of tripped me out, but it was like you live all the lifetimes. Each one of them, you get sent back randomly. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm you, you're me, we live this, and each one of these is for some kind of, like, bizarre cosmic lesson. But that part is like, what happens? We get into cosmic college after? We learn this whole thing?
Right.
Like, you know, that's what you mean. The ideal is, like, the Hindus call it, like, nirvana or whatever, or, like, so the ultimate thing of oneness, but, like, for what? Almost.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? If it's ultimately a big game and we're some kind of being that lives forever, then it's like, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, this is sick. Like, it's ultimately sick. Cause it's, and that's my concept of it, is that we repeat. We constantly repeat, like, almost alternate fucking timelines. Like, it's almost a thing I've been reading in X-Men. And it sucks to get a lot of from sci-fi, but X-Men right now, they got it. They have these alternate timelines, and this one lady can go back through whole lifetimes, but she only has an 11-time limit, right? Okay. So it's kind of tripped out. So she's on like her 10th lifetime trying to redo it from step one and recreate humanity, but it always ends up in an apocalypse.
Right.
And so like that's my concept of real life too, is that we always get to like a level of enlightenment and ultimately destroy ourselves, so we would go regress almost to the cavemen and have to start all over again. You know what I mean? That's how we have some of these ancient civilizations that are supposed to be thousands of years old, and how the fuck did we do it?
Yeah.
Because we don't know. We got so advanced, we put them on fucking computers and shit, and then, you know, you come and destroy everything with fucking computers and shit. Right. And then there's nothing. There's no record. You have to start from scratch. Yeah. So, like, but...
because if computers go out, there's no trace of what the fuck has been going on.
Right. There's nothing, dude. Right. And people, like, especially now, and the further that we get along, we've become so reliant on our technologies that we can't do basic tasks, dude. We literally forget millions of things, like, every day that we used to be able to do. Like, I can't spell for the life of me because of all those shit. But, you know, it's the fact of it is that, like, as we get further along, we ultimately get fucking dumber. Like, you know, we were allowed to have freer discussions and things like that where we get, like, bigger ideas, but, like, our basic functions get reduced to emojis. And that's almost how hieroglyphs are. You know what I mean? If you think about it, to
right, we're going back.
Yeah, this is, you know, that's what I'm saying. So, like, if the fall of man was in fucking 100 years from now, it could, in theory, fucking start all over again.
Right.
Like that. With some, you know, and if fucking evolution and shit is true, like, some new fucking form of us would come out of the rubble. Yeah. You know what I mean? Some homo sapien or some whatever the fuck it would be should eventually come out of the ashes.
Super homo sapiens.
Yeah, right. So, you know, they would be whatever. But they would ultimately be restarting from the fucking get, like we did when we came out of the fucking dinosaur era. So, who knows? If this shit is as old as it is, we could have been doing this forever. And each one of these ones that come before us could be some kind of form of that. So that's my personal thought. I can't take your fucking consciousness game thing. It's a little sick, but
yeah. But like, if the universe is like eternal, basically, or like ever expanding, right? Why would we have to come back to this planet? And is this planet a good planet to be on? Because what if we're all right, so you die, and now your energy moves on to a different fucking dimension or a spectrum, who knows what? That's way worse than this, and a lot of people are like, I can't wait to like go enjoy like eternal life. But, like, are we sure that we know what that's all about? Maybe this could also be a brief fucking break from eternal life. Because eternal life is forever. Would I want to live on this planet forever? Fuck no. I don't want to live forever.
It could be some kind of vacation. Like,
you know?
I would say, like, definitely, like, yo, hey, go take a break. Right. You're working hard. Go to Earth for a little while. Chill out.
Right.
Or, you know? In the ever-expanding universe, you could be, like, the energy that's responsible for making it continue to expand or whatever.
Think about forever, though.
Oh, but like you said, when you just said it to me, it's like, what if the next one is just terrible? Like, it is some version of hell, and then you have to figure that one out all over again, and you never get there. Right. Or you know, because like, all right, we made it through this one, but the next one you gave up.
Right.
What the fuck happens then?
Yeah.
You know, it's truly. But I don't think it ends the way that some people think.
I don't think we have any fucking clue, man. You know?
That's definitely for true. Is that none of us really know anything for certain. But I just feel like if your body goes into the ground and a tree comes out, do you really die? Like, you know, there's the new studies with the trees too that I was reading that they believe whole ecosystems are interlinked, like just like we are, mothers and daughters. Like the main tree will know its saplings from a different tree. It'll know that it was blown over, or like if we plant like you know, just things that are not native to our ecosystems. And go off on a little nature and plant our own stuff here in New York because our ecosystem is constantly changing. But that's a different sidebar. But like they say that it will not work in unison. So now you have forests literally dying, becoming more susceptible to bacteria and things like that because they're trying to like, you know, save their own and they're not defending themselves the right way. And then the invaders are basically taking over. So that's, you know, if people don't believe in climate change, they're out of their mind. Because I see it every day with the different plants. That's what I was getting at. There are plants take over our trees, and right now, like even New York State, we're losing our pine trees to like ivy and stuff like that. Because invaders are coming in, taking over the land, making it more alkaline, and the trees can't survive because they don't have necessary acidity. But what I was getting at is that like, so if you die and you become a tree, and that has some kind of like, you know, life to it. Did you die? You know what I mean? You're part of this constant cycle. You know what I mean? So like, I believe your energy continues on. So even if you're the tree in the house, like that's why there's weird spirits from time to time. And there's creeks. That's my thought on it. So it's like it's just and the more that science like goes to try to be sciencey, they realize that the spiritual is more scientific in its own weird way, and I know that kind of sounds weird, how I just try to explain it, but they're admitting more and more that they're like, I don't know how this happened. Right. Like there's something else going on here. Yeah. There's another force, and like the universe, like they're just figuring out about the dark matter and like how dark energy works, and how like this is all there, but it's not, and how it moves. So like, how's that even possible? Right. We have energy that nobody can see, but it's there and it's moving, and it's like a force basically. So it's got to be the same here. Like if the universe is all out of the same thing, it has to work here as it works there. You know, like so. That's where it's like it ultimately becomes tricky. Like, you know. Yeah. And then I think that's the whole point of our conversation is that like, is seeing believing or is believing seeing? Right.
I was having a conversation with somebody I think yesterday about trees, believe it or not. Right? They were like. And we were talking about how certain things feel, like have feelings and stuff like that. So like, somebody was like, trees fucking feel, and I was like, they certainly fucking do feel. You know what I mean? Like, just because they don't have nerve endings,
just because they can't express it the way that we can.
Yeah, doesn't mean they can't feel. Like nerves aren't the only things that make you feel things, right? They're like the oldest things that are alive on the fucking planet, right? Some trees live to how many fucking years? 300 years? Who knows how long? But like, I would say like that tree outside my house has seen or felt so many different people passing by. Like, who knows if it knows who you are, if it knows the people, you know what I mean? Like, like, and this is the crazy thing.
But that's what they were kind of saying. To the roots go so much deeper than what you think.
So like maybe. And they give us life. Right. That's the tree is one of the most important things on this planet, and we don't even like. Give it a pat, like, thanks, buddy. You know what I mean? No, thank your trees. Thank your local trees, ladies and gentlemen.
So, like you said, taken for granted is our vegetation and things like that we just don't think about. Like, without the trees, we don't get to breathe. Right. And that's it. And it's, we cut it down every day. And like you said, it'd be cool if they had some kind of sentience, knew that, you know? But that trips me out, too, like, just in general, even if it doesn't know. Think about how many people, if it's a 300-year-old tree, sat under that damn tree. Right. You know what I mean? That's so crazy. To enjoy it, to carve their name, whatever.
Edgar Allan Poe could have wrote a poem under that tree.
And totally, like you said, took it for granted. Right. Just took it for granted. And it's like,
I'm sure he didn't, though. Edgar Allan Poe didn't take that tree. Hello, tree. You know what I mean? Like,
no, he wrote the shit out of that tree.
But dude, listen to this, though. You know how trees have a fucking ring in them for every year they live?
Right.
And we we've come up with our own time frame of what a year is, right? Because we
no
go
time.
around the right. But we have come up with it, right? Now, before we came up with this time frame, did trees have their rings? Because they are based upon our fucking year of going around the sun, right? And they have their own fucking thing of every year they create a new ring.
It's interesting.
How the fuck do they know that?
It could have just made the rings and we just put the crazy, like that's, we put the time frame on it. Like,
but they could grow a tree and be like, oh, for 10 years, and then cut it down and be like, motherfucker's got 10 rings on it.
Yeah. That just goes to the whole there is no time. And it's only how you perceive it. Like,
but did we create the rings, though? That's the thing. Did we create the rings? Were there no rings before we created our
before we
mankind?
chopped them down?
No, before we created... Oh, even before we chopped them down, but like...
Well, because before the first person ever chopped it down, there was no fucking rings. When you see a broken tree, you don't see the rings. Not like that, anyway.
Yeah.
Like a tree naturally breaks, you don't see it like that. You see like shards and stuff.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. What, like, to your point is... Did we create the rings? If we cut the tree, and now we perceive the rings,
right?
Were the rings ever really fucking there?
Right. And to base, I mean, are we that accurate about years that they are, or because they came up with them way before we did?
I'm going to my point that I think there's no time. Like they just came and they counted the cycles of the moon and the sun,
right?
Like, and they came up with something that sounded good,
right?
Throughout history, calendars have been changed, and we follow a certain model now.
Yeah.
But there's been thousands, before this, and the Mayans and all these people have different fucking ways of counting this so-called time.
Yeah, time doesn't exist. It's fake. It's man-made.
It's man-made. We slave ourselves to this 24-hour system,
right.
But like it really doesn't. Like the sun and the moon do come up, but like nothing. If you didn't have this counting system, what the fuck, dude?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the craziest part about perception too, right? So now we have this crazy time. So now you've created a body clock. How did you create this body clock? But you can somehow wake up at the same time,
right?
Every day,
yeah,
right? But how the fuck with time doesn't really exist?
Right.
How the fuck you introduce such a thing? But that goes to like the human thing of perception. Well, you've created this fake force around me, and now I'm gonna abide by the rules.
Right. and if we didn't have this, would we live forever? Because that, like, if they give you a time frame, right, of human... 83 is the average year, right? Oh, shit. That's all I got left. What if they said 125 is the average year? You know that you're going to probably live to 125. Whatever they tell you, whatever's in your mind, is what fucking happens, right? And what you could achieve.
I guess that's where we're getting at. But, like, I feel like you don't live forever. I feel like, again, with like kind of the energy thing, like you have to have the balance. So like, you have to have your endpoint. It just is what it is. I mean, we'll never figure out when anybody's endpoint is, but like I feel like you have your time here for whatever reason.
Right.
You either make it or you don't. But it's like, yeah, if with that being said, if you were able to make it in longer term due to perspective, could you, in theory, like you said, live longer? Like, in the Bible times, it was like, fucking, the dude lived to 900.
Right.
Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody lived to 900.
Yeah. But
like,
what if they did, though?
But what if they did? Because they believed, they didn't know what to believe.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? There was no restrictions on it. So they had 900 years.
Yeah.
And as we got, like you said, we got further along down the path, he was like, well, you only lived to 900 years, bro. And then the next thing was like, oh, you lived 800 years, bro. And then, like, we kind of, like, again, kind of with the consciousness thing, we kind of just shrunk our overall consciousness to become what we are now. Either we were more advanced or we were less advanced. I don't know. Or there's the missing link with the aliens or something. Like, because how do we ultimately get here from fucking monkeys? Dude, and then if we're monkeys, then why they're still monkeys?
Right.
That
you
shit
all
always
change.
just bugged me out. Like if we're the monkeys and we're the new shit, why they're still the same fucking apes? Or also they're not the same, so then they're a different species. There was something still totally fucking different.
Yeah.
No.
It's pretty wild, though.
Right? Yeah.
It's wild.
Right. That's why I dig when they're like, I'm just a person or like I'm an entity having a human experience, and that's what I can tell you.
Right.
Like right now, I am in a body, and I know that, and I know when I wake up, I'm there. I don't know where I go to when I go to sleep. Sometimes, like, we do to the original point that we astral project and we can move through things. Sometimes I go to sleep and I have the randomest thing where, I'm eating bacon and fucking peanut butter. Like not dead. Like,
right.
And then there's other times I don't remember nothing until my eyes open back again, and I'm in this being, this physical form.
Yeah.
Like, and even like, it's gonna sound wild, but like even sometimes when I'm walking around now, it's like I feel like I'm like sitting on my own shoulders, which makes no sense. Like, I'm like almost out on the side, like I'm driving myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, I know that I'm an energy, so my body is not. I'm not perceiving it the same way. Like, I'm almost floating over it. Like, which is
so maybe that's the same thing I was talking
that's
about.
what I mean,
You're directing yourself
that's
on another
So,
another
like,
spot.
The more we're talking
you know?
about, it's like it does sound it's nuts, but it does sound like these things could be there's some kind of truth to it. There is some, like, you're an essence more than you are a mass.
Right.
And then there's more to it than that. And so, is it like reincarnation? Do you keep going around? What is it, the ultimate thing? And that's what for me, what ultimately seems to bother me, like, and I guess everybody else is like, why, dude? Yeah. Why the fuck?
Right.
What it boils down to is, what the fuck are we doing here?
Right.
Like, besides, like, just trying to get by and figure it all out, like, for what?
But maybe that's the question that we shouldn't be asking. Because if that's the question that everybody asks, it's probably the wrong question. You know?
Yeah. The truth is usually not right there, but like...
What else? I mean, do you know... Maybe we're all not here for a specific cause. Maybe... No, or maybe we all are for one... Maybe your cause isn't the same as my cause. You know?
It's definitely not, and like, some people are supposed to get bigger and smaller for whatever, like, however we kind of perceive it. Like, some people are supposed to do greater things, but like, without the smaller touch in the beginning, that person would never be destined for greater things. If, like, you know what I mean, if you didn't have that influence from like a teacher or a coach that gave you the encouragement before somebody else, maybe you never get to the bigger things.
Right.
So it's like, that's ultimately, like, you know, part of the destiny thing, where everybody's gonna influence your path the way it's supposed to. But why?
Right.
This is my point. Like, why? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I hear you. Like, maybe it's not supposed to be why, but why do we? You know what I mean? Is it just for the, well, hey, we're here and we're gonna make more of us fucking thing because we can?
Right.
Like, that makes sense to a certain extent, and like, you know, I dig that like, us as human beings, we like the idea of legacy and like the bigger dream. Some of us, you know, like, we know like certain things can't be achieved in one lifetime, and we're gonna keep trying to pursue it, even with our heirs and like our dreams. And sometimes, you know, like, my dream and your dream right now won't be a reality for lifetimes. But like, if we put into the, like, I take that as a group, like, but what is that for? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right. Like, you know, I build a monument and it's in the park for 200 years, and then I get graffiti by some punk ass kid. Right. Don't even give a fuck.
Like, yo, who the fuck is Big Celio, man?
Right, like, fuck you guys, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I dig that we do that, but like, I just don't overall get why we do that. We could do nothing together. But like, yeah, but you couldn't, because then, you know, like, shit would get fucked up. You have to like work for your shit, which is crazy, and that has.
It is crazy because animals
that's what I mean. That's
don't have to work for the shit. But they have to go collect. Yeah, they have to go. All they have to do is eat, shit, and fornicate.
Then when you bathe, like, but they have to work, dude. Like, the predator has to stalk and spray all day, whatever kind of predator, and that takes time, dude. It takes skill. It's an art that animal does.
But think about gorillas. They just eat grass all day and protect their fucking clan, right? Or their gang. What is it? What is it? A clan of gorillas? A gang?
But I'm getting this. You still have to
group. A troop. No, a troop. A troop of gorillas, right?
I don't know what the gorillas are called. I thought they were always in the mist. Like, yeah, no, but like, you still have to work for it. They have to gather the food. You know,
they just eat grass all day, though, gorillas.
Yeah, but it's a chore, dude. Go eat grass.
They have it way better than we do.
I didn't. That's the different argument.
Yeah,
like what? I would much prefer to eat grass all day.
Okay, they don't have PlayStation, but like, do we need PlayStation?
No, we're just a little smarter with our free time than they are. Like, but you still ultimately, like, the worm doesn't get thrown into the nest, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like, you gotta work for everything in its own odd way. But why? I'm gonna continue going with it, but why, dude? Like, we all do this. It's all instinct. We have this thrill to survive. We have to survive. We have to eat.
Yeah. I got to stop you right there for a second because I just looked at your vape and it said alien on it when you said why. And I guess maybe that's the answer because the aliens.
right. Aliens or this weird game. Like, dude, I can do it with the resources. Like I can do it with stuff provided for you. Like, I don't get the end game. And then there's the other ones that like kind of rule the world and try to get to the end. This weird other part, like they got their own shit.
Right.
Well, I'm over here thinking my shit. They got their own fucking game plan, and it's like, what the fuck's going on? It's so complicated, but it's so easy, right?
Yeah, maybe it is easier than we think.
Ultimately, is it easier than you think? Like it's such a weird question. Is it we overcomplicate it? Do we are we so much in our own way, that we can't get out of it? Like, and I feel like that is for a lot of us, and that's why a lot of other things come easy for some people because they don't get in their own way. Like they just let it go. Like if they did just master the flow, like you said, like they believe what they say, and if you don't believe what you say, it comes off false. It comes off ingenuine.
Right.
And then, so, like, that's ultimately, I think, kind of going off of the tangent thing. But, yeah, like, I think that's my personal thought about it.
All right. So it is easier than what it is. So should we leave the people off with that and then...
I guess, ultimately, that's kind of what our thing is. I think, you know what I mean? Get out of your own way.
Get out of your own way.
Right. It is easier than, than it is. If you
just do it.
Yeah, do it.
Sponsored by Nike.
You do it or you don't.
Right.
Everything in the middle is, get out of your own way, man.
It's all cornflakes.
Yeah, it's all cornflakes, and I think that's might be what we're going to be called.
All right.
Nick and B, get out your own way, B.
All cornflakes.
All cornflakes.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you next week, I guess.
Yeah, all right.
Peace.
On our Labor Day edition, September 1st.